1492, he sailed the ocean blue. Chances are you've heard this saying before, and if you're among the many people who had this rhyme drilled in their memory at a young age, then you'd know that I'm talking about the one and only Christopher Columbus. But who was this man, and what motivated him to go on such a journey? In this video, I'll be discussing the life of Christopher Columbus, the adventurer whose voyages would reshape history. Despite Christopher Columbus being a prominent figure in history, surprisingly little is known about the explorer himself. In fact, the man's life is so shrouded in mystery that historians aren't even sure what he truly looked like. The reason for this is because during his life he had no portraits of himself taken, which means that all the current images we have of Christopher Columbus were created by using written descriptions given by those who knew him. Researchers have presumed that Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 in Genoa, which was a small city-state that didn't join Italy until 1861. His family, which consisted of his parents and 4 siblings, were all weavers and merchants. Christopher Columbus too was a merchant. However, after some time he began to realize that his family's calling wasn't his, and he found his own passion, which was sailing. At a very young age, Christopher Columbus began sailing. He quickly found it was his love, and as he grew, he sought more voyages on the sea.
Oh boy, I sure do love sailing.
Eventually, Christopher Columbus moved out of Genoa and set his sights on Lisbon, Portugal. At this point, Christopher Columbus was an experienced sailor, as he had become familiar with the Mediterranean and had made many voyages into the Pacific. After moving to Portugal, his expeditions only got more and more impressive. Before his most famous adventure, he had sailed to Ireland, Africa, England, and a few Atlantic islands. While in Portugal, Christopher Columbus met his wife, Filipa Perestrello y Muniz. After marrying the woman, he came to have a child with her, who he named Diego. Despite settling down, the ever-adventurous Christopher Columbus was eager to set sail again. So, in 1482, he left home and began traveling along West Africa's coast, trading in the many ports along the way. Shit's falling apart, bro. Unfortunately, after returning home in 1484, Christopher Columbus sadly found out that his wife had passed during his adventures.
My wife.
Not being one to let things weigh him down, he moved to Castile and quickly remarried with Beatriz Enriquez de Arana, whom he had another child with, named Fernando Columbus. Shortly after this, the Renaissance reached its peak, and Christopher Columbus fit right in, given his advanced intellect. The Renaissance was a great time when human knowledge was being expanded through exploration and other means. This push for exploration reinvigorated Christopher Columbus, and he now felt more determined to go out and explore the world than ever before. The drive to explore also came from Columbus's desire to find a new trade route so that he might loosen the Muslim hold on Asian trade. Another, more controversial reason Columbus was willing to go on these adventures was because he believed that if he were to find wealth during his travels, he would be able to fund another crusade. You see, Columbus was a religious man who believed that he was divinely chosen by God to help convert the world to Christianity. And this, in addition to his desire for loot, created a determined man willing to go to great lengths to see his vision complete. During this time, Columbus heard from some geographers that it might be possible to reach Asia by sailing west.
I think it might be possible to reach Asia by sailing west.
For real?
Columbus was quickly infatuated by this idea and began trying to find someone to sponsor his voyage to Asia.
Hey buddy, I want some help on this voyage.
Unfortunately for Columbus, nobody was willing to support such a dangerous voyage.
I will not support such a dangerous voyage.
Hey man, how about you? I could use some help on this dangerous voyage.
I will not help you out on such a dangerous voyage.
Alright, I'm getting really desperate now. Hey pal, I need some help on this dangerous voyage. Damn!
Not one to give up on his dreams so easily, Columbus began doing research on Asia, trying to find proof that supported his theory. Christopher Columbus had an odd way of researching, however, as he only looked for articles that supported his beliefs and cherry-picked writings that agreed with his theories. This method of research led to his information being faulty at best. The information he got came from a wide range of sources, the main ones being Toscanelli, Pierre Diali, and Al-Farghani. Even when Columbus found sources that would have supported his theory, he would usually misinterpret them. Take for instance the previously mentioned Al-Farghani. According to Al-Farghani's calculations, each degree of latitude at the equator was approximately 66 nautical miles. Christopher Columbus, however, didn't get this message and interpreted it to be only 45 miles per degree. All of this information combined led Columbus to believe that the world was much smaller than anyone else had thought at the time. And despite this being completely wrong, it was an effective way of drawing the attention of sponsors.
I want to give you money!
Let me give you money!
Right now!
Money! I want to give you money! I want to give you money! I want some money! May I please give you money?
Eventually, after a few years, Columbus managed to persuade Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand of Spain to finance his expedition.
Please fund my voyage. Please!
We could use some new trade routes.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Columbus was ecstatic and immediately began preparations for his long voyage. Despite being sponsored, many critics still attacked Columbus, saying that his calculations would lead to the death of him and his crew.
You're gonna get everyone killed!
In a way, these critics were right. Columbus's calculations were terrible, and if the Americas had not existed, Columbus and his crew would have sailed off to sea, never to be heard from again. But, as we know, this isn't what happened. On August 3rd, 1492, Columbus set sail with his crew of 90 men and prepared for what they thought would be a short trip. Still out on the ocean, days turned into weeks and the weeks into months. While Columbus's men had some experience on the sea, they were completely blindsided by the length of this expedition. Naturally, they began to worry. Was this man really crazy after all? Were they going to die at sea? Suddenly, the faith they placed in Columbus began to dwindle.
This guy stinks.
This guy does not know what he's doing.
Why did we go with this guy in the first place?
This has been a terrible idea.
Hey, what's he got over there?
In fact, Columbus's men were so stressed with the situation that they threatened mutiny.
Let's kill this guy.
Hey, you want to take over?
Alright, let's go kill him.
Let's just take over the ship. Well, we did it. We took over the ship.
Thankfully, tensions were relieved after signs of land started appearing. Birds in the sky and driftwood comforted the men and kept them sailing on until they finally found land.
Shouldn't this ship have like sails or something?
Finally, on October 12th, 2 months after the expedition began, Columbus found land.
Oh my goodness gracious! Land ho!
What? This guy's... We don't have to kill him.
Columbus, believing he had landed in Asia, claimed the land for Spain and soon came into contact with the local inhabitants, which we know as the Taino. The natives were fascinated with Columbus, and Columbus was just as intrigued by them in turn. Here's some passages from Columbus's journal describing the Taino people.
They were very friendly to us, and perceived that they could be much more easily converted to our holy faith by gentle means than by force. But they seemed on the whole to me to be a very poor people. They all go completely naked, even the women, though I saw but one girl. Weapons they have none, for I showed them swords, which they grasped by the blades, and cut themselves through ignorance. They have no iron, the javelins being without it, and nothing more than sticks, though some have fish bones or other things at the ends.
Columbus, eager to inform his Spanish sponsors of his findings, took 2 Taino guides back to his boat and decided to begin his voyage back to Spain. On March 14th, Columbus finally returned home and was welcomed with great reception. The royal court at Barcelona appraised him, and Columbus was showered with rewards and honors. In his eyes, years of struggle were being amended, and his navigation theories were finally being validated. But unfortunately, it was all downhill from here for Columbus. After his first voyage, Columbus went on 3 more trips in an attempt to find a direct water route from Europe to Asia, but unfortunately was unsuccessful in every attempt. By 1502, his reputation was tarnished, and he embarked on one last voyage, which was deemed a critical failure that resulted in the loss of many men and ships. In 1506, Christopher Columbus finally passed away. His death was completely unrecognized by the Spanish people. He died believing that he had landed in Asia on that fateful day and never got to see the true grandeur of his expedition. Years later, in 1790, Columbus would finally receive the recognition he deserved. The newly established colonies based their capital in a place they named the District of Columbia. This was their way of honoring the man who accidentally stumbled onto what we know as America today. In the history books, Columbus's name shines with both triumph and controversy, an ever-debated legacy that demands reflection. His voyages opened new horizons and connected worlds, but the consequences of such a culture clash are still debated and discussed to this day. Columbus's name stands as a reminder of the complex balance between discovery and consequence. His name reminds us of a bittersweet legacy forged by a man filled with determination, hope, and adventure.
We give you money.
Dude, just stand by.
Money!
I got money and I need to give it to you.
I want to give you money for your voyage.
Nah, bro, he left his flashlight here.
Good night. Oh my god, he just did the beast throw. Oh my god, he's in beast mode though.
Shut the fuck up!
The bruised ship of Captain Steel. It shines so much you could hardly see it. Now I am old, but somehow I'm happy. One day at last came up and the saying, your ship is small.
You're gonna get everyone killed!
Actually,